It's funny you say that because you always see it from the one lens, right? Hey, they blew some games. You never put into account that the other games that the teams just gave you because they stunk too. That never factors into that statement. So it's a great season. The thing that for me is like they had a chance. Obviously those games that were early when the bullpen was a mess, and then even late when they really didn't go after bullpen help. The thing that scares me a little bit is the fact that windows are really small in this game. You got a CBA coming up, and you don't know what's going to happen for next year. But when you have a team that's historically as good as this team was offensively, and not to be able to get into the tournament at the end of the year, that's tough because there's no guarantee that that's going to turn over into the next year. But to see the core of guys that you do have here, that's always going to be exciting. I think obviously the Marcus Semien situation is going to be a giant one. Like this guy came in and I said it the other day, he was like a unicorn's unicorn. I mean, he's such a great player. He plays every single day. He's such a mentor to guys in the clubhouse, and his presence is worth so many wins ever. Now we had David Price, we only had David Price for a month, and he wasn't with us the next year. But I also know there was a hangover effect that like what he brought to our club kind of stayed with us into the next year. If they don't get Semien back, which I'm not saying, I mean, they have just as good a chance as anyone to get him back. Does his presence still stay there even though he's not there? But that's a big one. I just say it was a good year. It was a fun year. You should be proud of the guys that played here. A lot of these guys came up through the organization. They're great guys. They had a lot of adversity playing in 3 different places. So it's kind of two things. Like man, it stinks that you didn't get there, but also you should be really proud of what they did.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
You got to be the happiest guy in the world because all the meetings that are going on behind closed doors with the Jaguars pertain with Urban Meyer, and they're not getting ready for the Tennessee Titans this weekend.
I wish that were the case. They're getting ready for the Titans. This distraction is hanging over their heads, and now you got players that are sitting there, and it's a double standard now because he clearly isn't.
When you do screw up, you got to face the music, pay the piper, fall on your sword, as I say it.
On the road with the Rod Pedersen Show.
You betcha. They tell us we're good to go, and we are live back in Dodge City in sunny and steamy South Florida today. It is Canada's daytime sports talk show. Poolside here, back in the friendly environs. The Moose is in the bunker in the rectangle, and we're ready to talk sports for the next 2 hours. Coming up with the program today, former hockey pro from the Puck Support movement, Brady Leavold, and that's in hour 1. In hour 2, TSN NHL insider Darren Dreger. You're on, Moose.
Is that
How you doing,
another?
My friend, or should I say?
Is that another new Florida
Ted
shirt?
Lasso? No, I've worn it before.
Okay.
I've worn it before. This was team issued last year in that first round exit by the Florida Panthers. And I thought, it's hot, Darren. I'm sweating this thing up today, ready to talk some sports today. How's your 22 hours been since I saw you last?
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. Uneventful, but good.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I'll tell you what. We got a lot to get to today. I want to jump right into it here on the warm-up for E-Cold Electric. If you can hit the quick 6 show horn, please, Director Jordan. And, yeah, we do have a lot of hockey to get to, but it is Canada's daytime sports talk show, Darren, and I'm opening up with a lot of CFL talk, okay? And then we'll get to, if we can't get it to all of it in Block 1, we'll certainly cover it through Block 2, all of our quick 6 show topics here, because there's a lot, almost too much, you know? Yeah. But I got to open up with the Canadian Football League. And for one, we're going to, what do you want first, the good news or the bad news?
Rip the Band-Aid off.
No, I'm going with the good news. Wrong answer. Week 10 in the CFL opens up tonight, and this is what's important. Even if you're somebody that doesn't care about the CFL, you're an American who's told me that I lose you when I talk about the CFL. No, you'll get this. The Toronto Argonauts organization is going to honor the 1991 championship team tonight when Week 10 kicks off at BMO Field in Toronto. honoring the 30-year anniversary of one of the most memorable teams in CFL history when they play host to the Ottawa Red Blacks tonight. Now, I have not looked up the BetRegal.net betting odds for this one, but I got to think around 3 points the Argos will be favored. Now, listen to this. The 1991 Toronto Argonauts were quite literally a Hollywood story owned by a trio that included Canadian icons John Kennedy. Been in the States too long. John Candy and Wayne Gretzky, as well as American businessman and then owner of the Los Angeles Kings, Bruce McDowell. With 7 eventual Canadian Football Hall of Famers on the roster, including the likes of Pinball Clemens, Matt Dunnigan, D.K. Smith, and Don Wilson, as well as the 1991 Coach of the Year, Adam Rita, and signing one of the biggest American college football stars ever in Rocket Ishmael, the Boatmen were every bit Hollywood on the field as well. So tonight at BMO Field, for our Eastern Canadian viewers, if you haven't got tickets yet, you're going to want to get down there. The first 2,000 fans in attendance will receive a replica of the 1991 championship sweater. A large group of that 1991 team will be in attendance and honored at halftime. Throwback A helmet will be worn by the Argos as an ode to the championship team. And a 90s-themed content and activations at BMO Field will be going on throughout the game. Now, listen, I'll be watching tonight from South Florida with a heavy heart because my good man, Chris Schultz, was the starting right tackle on that Argos football team. But that's kind of an exciting thing to kick off Week 10, wouldn't you say, Moose? Ottawa, Toronto, 1991 night at BMO Field.
Very exciting. Very exciting. I mean, these are the glory days of the Canadian Football League. It's what we want, right? I mean, we want these memories. I mean, you can show off how star-studded this league has been at times and maybe give people a hope of what this league can be.
Well, some star power would help, but that 1991 Argos team had it all. And I'll say this, I've been asked many times, and I didn't realize that until I got into this new career where I look back, because for 30 years I was just a motorboat through the harbor, never stopped to look back.
Yeah. And
once I left that last job with the Rough Riders, somebody said to me, who's the biggest name you ever interviewed? And I was always thinking, Jordan Eberle, Robbie Alomar, guys like this. And then I look back and go, no, wait a minute, John Candy. John Candy. I interviewed him on the sidelines when the Argos visited the Saskatchewan Rough Riders in 1991. And I'll say it again. This guy was the size of a Coke machine. Like, I'm a big guy, 6'3". He had 100 pounds on me and probably an inch or two. John Candy was massive, but just a tremendous guy. So I'm sure they'll be honoring him tonight. Reason to tune in on Wednesday Night Football in the CFL. That's the good news. Moving on to point 2, which is kind of mediocre news. And we did cover this a little bit yesterday, but I was surprised and a little disheartened to learn when we got off the air yesterday that Cody Fajardo, the star quarterback of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, issued an apology to anyone whose feelings he hurt in his post-game rant after Saskatchewan lost in Calgary Saturday 23-17. And we covered it on Monday, talked about it on Tuesday. Here we are Wednesday, because from what I understand, Moose, it's the big topic in the Rectangle, the Rider Nation, and all the CFL. Producer Clark was telling me that before we went to air this morning, that everybody's still talking about it. Cody calling out his teammates, his receivers, basically saying they don't have enough playmakers. People extended that to the scouting staff. And he came out and apologized for hurting anybody's feelings. And am I too harsh? Am I too skin of a rhinoceros to say that an apology was not necessary? Or am I too old school?
He is the quarterback. He is the face of the franchise. The fan base, they look to him, right, to lead this organization. I know they're looking at Craig Dickinson as well and other people around the organization, but they look to Cody. Cody's number one. So if the fan base is upset, I kind of have a feeling that he'll take that personally. And, that's just the guy he is, right? Or the guy that, we see is he wants to make sure that everybody's good. I'm sure he took care of his locker room. I don't think that's an issue. I'm sure he went into his locker room and talked to each of his receivers one-on-one or as a group and said, look, this is what happened. This is what I mean. We're good. I no doubt. But then I think he felt a little personal connection to the fan base to say, look, guys, this isn't what I meant. And I know you guys are upset, but we just want to win. So I understand why he did it, and I'm okay with it.
I understand why I did it. I just don't think it was necessary. But I'll tell you this. This is the wonders of technology in 2021 that I can do a sports talk show from South Florida talking about Canadian topics. Last night, I had members of the Canadian media blowing up my phone with videos and screenshots of Cody Fajardo overthrowing his receivers Saturday night. And the media will not name who they were, but they were saying, how do you call out your receivers when you're doing this? I'm like, yeah. But Tom Brady calls out his teammates all the time, and last year he lost track of downs on Thursday Night Football. Remember that one in the fourth quarter? So, yes, you got to make sure that your yard's clean if you're going to call out others. And I also said maybe Cody's feeling the heat. Like, I got out of the cauldron that is the 306 for a reason to get down here because it was too much, and don't have anything to do with it. Imagine Cody. Maybe the heat's getting to him. But anyways, moving on. We can revisit that later if you wish. And by the way, the Prairie Mobile text line is open, 306-840-8777. 840-8777. Like I said, it's Canada's daytime sports talk show. We got to open up with Canadian topics. I'm getting to the hockey. Just hang on. Point 3, I got a phone call last night while I was watching the Lightning and the Panthers from my good friend Eddie Steele. Grey Cup champion, 9-year CFL veteran, told me that he'd been let go by the radio station that carries Edmonton Elks broadcast. The reason? We all know he was extremely critical of the general manager of the Edmonton Elks, Brock Sunderland. Extremely critical of him on Friday on this show. And he called and said, well, they're letting me go. He said, it wasn't just your show. He goes, on the pregame show of the Elks last game, I let Brock have it too. He goes, I knew that I was going too far, but I wanted to get it off my chest. And I guess this is the thing, Darren, where it's like, if you got one shot, you better make it good. And he made it good. And he was let go, and he knew it was coming. And nobody likes to be fired, obviously, but Eddie's fine, doesn't need the money. And so that news came out. So that's the bad news, right? We had the good news, the news, and then the bad news from an Eddie Steele perspective, and I guess that's the top item running at 3downnation.com. So when you heard today that Eddie was let go, what was your reaction?
It's tough. You never want to see good people lose their jobs, but
no,
I understand it from a radio station perspective because you're not a neutral broadcast, right? On Chad, you're not a neutral broadcast. You're the Elks broadcast, so you don't have to, And I know you've been through this. Would never expect anybody to lie or anybody to not be honest, but you do have to support the organization. I think, you're asked to anyways support that organization when you're on the team broadcast and be a team player. So I get it. And Eddie clearly knew. And from our perspective, I always worry, are they going to be mad at us? Did we lead him down a path? And we didn't. He wanted to get this out, and I get that. And Eddie's a man of integrity. But Daryl Davies had a reply in the Twitter feed. I think it was on our Twitter feed.
Saw that.
And I think he's somebody that, has a lot of respect around the industry. He's been remember the Football Reporters of Canada and that association for a long time. I think we have a tremendous amount of respect for Daryl. And, to sum it up, he used a Shakespeare quote that said, basically, honor matters more than anything. And if you're good with yourself, that's what matters. And I think that's where Eddie's at. I mean, he was truthful. He was honest. He's good with it. And he'll find other opportunities. There's no question about that. But I feel bad for him that he doesn't get to call the football games. But if he's good with it, we're good with it. It's where it was going to go.
Well, just to be clear, he was an analyst pre- and post-game show. He wasn't doing color or anything like that. But one day, people are going to understand where this industry has gone, or at least what my experience has been. I've never minded for 30 years as a play-by-play guy massaging a message or making a team look good. I was okay with that. But the day that I got called in and told to go on the air and lie and cover something up for the team, I said, I won't do it. And they said, no, you don't understand. If you don't do it, you're going to be fired. I took off my key fob and I said, here, take it. I don't want the job. I won't lie to these people, i.e. the people of this province. And while I wasn't fired that day, it started the clock ticking, let's put it that way. And so anyways, with what we're doing here on this program, down in America, they get it. They're so much further advanced. I don't know why or what the deal is down here, but they get it. And so many people are like, you're a trailblazer, man. You're a trailblazer with what you're doing with your show. It's unreal. And I'm like, well, that's how Darren and I feel. Just the people north of the border just kind of slow picking that up. But we're getting there. Moving on to point 4, which is what I've been dying to talk about all day. And by the way, for our new American viewers, the Quick Six Show topics are of importance to me. Maybe not in the world, but of importance to me. So NHL preseason from Tuesday night. Anders Lee, back this season after recovering from his ACL injury, scored to lead the New York Islanders to a 3-0 win over the Philadelphia Flyers in Bridgeport, Connecticut, Tuesday night. Lee, New York's captain, tore his ACL in the Islanders' 5-3 win over the New Jersey Devils back on March 11th. He missed the rest of the 2021 regular season and the entirety of New York's run to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Imagine if they had him. Probably would have beat Tampa. Speaking of, Owen Tippett scored twice in the third period to help Florida beat Tampa Bay 3-2 in Orlando, Florida last night. Frank the Tank Vetrano also scored for the Panthers, and Spencer Knight made 23 saves. By the way, I talked to the Tippett family last night. Owen Tippett is, quote, a far, far off relation to the Western Canadian Tippett family. Okay. They told me that their grandfathers were cousins.
They're not having Christmas together.
Those are some strong genes. No, those are some strong like bull genes to last that long. How are we doing for time here? Because next segment I'm going to talk about this Tampa Bay Florida rivalry in the National Hockey League and how I spit you not. I think it's the number one rivalry in the National Hockey League right now. Oh my. You saw my tweets last night. It was a yard sale. They were brawling last night in Orlando, and the play-by-play voice of the Panthers, Steve Goldie Goldstein, is going, you can't ask for more entertainment than this tonight. For the fans of Orlando, I'm like, well, yeah, I love it, but I don't think Gary Bettman likes it. Is this what we're trying to sell in Sunbelt markets? If so, I'm here for it. It was a hell of a lot of fun.
If it gets people excited, why wouldn't you?
Right. Of course, they were going nuts last night in the Amway Arena for that hockey game. By the way, my 10 Things column was picked up by the Panthers today in their daily news clippings that they send out to all the media. So, loving me some Florida Panthers. Yes, I'm still a Golden Knights fan, but it's really, keep your eye on this, Moose. Jason Zucker scored in the ninth round of the shootout to give Pittsburgh a 5-4 win over the Buffalo Sabres. Philip Tomasino scored .249 into overtime as the Nashville Predators beat Carolina 3-2. Free agent signee Nick Ritchie scored his first 2 goals for the Leafs in a 6-2 preseason win over Montreal.
How about
Brennan
that?
Mennel and, stuff it. Am I saying these guys' names right for the Leafs, by the way? Brennan Mennel and Brett Seney. Am I saying that right?
Close enough.
Who are these guys? They each had a goal and an assist. And Ilya Mikheyev and Semyon Derargintisnev added goals. Poor Joe Bowen.
Poor Joe Bowen.
That's
right. Oh, my God.
The voice of the Leafs. Semyon Derargintisnev. I'm sure his nickname's Chintzy.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I would be calling him. Here comes Chintzy flying down the left wing. Peter Mrazek made 20 saves for the Maple Leafs. Joel Armia had a goal and an assist, and Alex Belzile also scored for Montreal. Luke Glendening scored the tie-breaking goal in the third period, and the Dallas Stars beat St. Louis 3-1. And Alec Martinez scored twice, and Peyton Krebs had a goal and 2 helpers to help Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights, knock off Colorado 7-4. Keegan Kolazar, Riley Smith, Willie Karlsson, and Jake Lesishin also scored for the Golden Knights. You will remember the name Jake Lesishin. He was the captain of God's team, the Regina Pats, and Logan Thompson recorded 34 saves to earn the win. 2 more games, okay? Vince Dunn scored 2 goals, and Seattle closed out his preseason schedule with a 4-0 shutout of the Vancouver Canucks. Have they burnt down Rogers Arena yet? The Canucks lost to the Seattle Kraken. Get used to it. And Lawson Krause and Louis Eriksson scored third-period goals 6 minutes apart to push the Arizona Coyotes past the LA Kings 4-1. Costly game for the Kings. They lost center Quinton Byfield, the second overall pick in the 2020 draft. He sustained a lower body injury when he was checked into the boards by Arizona right winger Christian Fischer. Byfield's left leg slammed into the boards awkwardly, and he had to be helped off the ice. That's big news when it's being talked about on ESPN's SportsCenter. The warm-up is brought to you by eCold Electric. Our annual fall promotion sale is on now with special pricing on hundreds of in-stock items. eCold Electric, let's get to work. Moose and I will return and tear apart all of these things, plus American League wildcard results, some NFL news, and more. You're watching the RP Show live from beautiful Dodge City in South Florida on the Game Plus television network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sounds, feel in the air, it's the best thing anywhere. Just give me back my game. 'Cause I live for the drama, I live for the emotion. No one can take me down, bring me back my football.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
At Core Grain, we strive to be the most qualified grain storage and grain conditioning experts in Canada. Visit us today at coregrain.ca. Core Grain, doing the right thing for your farm.
Capital is Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalgmc.ca to see how we roll and to learn what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's exactly what you'll get when you choose Capital GMC, Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Prairie Mobile is your SaskTel authorized dealer. Whether you're looking for talk, text, or data, shared, unlimited, or business plans, Prairie Mobile will help you find the SaskTel wireless plan that's right for you. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Hey, the bridge is open on the Intercoastal. Backside of us in Fort Lauderdale as the RP Show continues on a gorgeous Tuesday. What is that? What is the Florida Panthers? What is that, you guys? I'm in the sun here. Moose, you're going to have to help me.
That was the Panthers and the Lightning.
Ah, okay, I can barely see it. I'm sure our viewers could see it just fine. You ready to just pick up where we left off, Moose?
Absolutely. Let's roll. I got fresh coffee.
Hey,
we're good.
I love it. By the way, here's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You got to shave off your beard and just leave the cheese. Because, what?
3 weeks.
3 weeks, then what?
Do you want me to let the cat out of the bag? No, we got to wait.
Oh, you're doing a Movember. Okay. Well, Ted Lasso, man. Like, I'm all in on Ted Lasso. What took me so long? You've been trying to get me for 1.5 years, 2 years to
I know.
watch.
It's
Now I'm
so
hooked.
great. And now you see all the different lines in the show. Like, he's just so positive, right? The one that gets me, you don't bring an umbrella to a brainstorm. Did you get to that far yet?
I don't think I saw that line yet. No, I'm getting there. But I'm quite enjoying it. By the way, Dan the Jets fans watching on YouTube and says, no, that was too dark to see. Okay, thanks. It's not just me. I'm not that blind yet. By the way, sprinkling in comments from our wonderful viewers that keep us on the air daily here on Game Plus. Michael J. is watching in British Columbia in the Lower Mainland. Michael J. And I almost feel like it might be Michael J. Fox. Hi. You guys are so good at what you do. You're making it hard for me to get my work done. LOL. Great takes and opinions. Love it. Thanks. Signed, Michael J. That can only be Michael J. Fox. There's only can be one in the Vancouver area, correct?
I would think. Big fan, too, by the way. Big fan.
Yeah. You of him or him of us?
Me. Well, both. It's mutual.
From the 780 Edmonton area, Trevor is watching on Game Plus television. He says, hey, Rod, I was at the Rider game Saturday night. Cody doesn't need to apologize because what he did makes the team better. Everyone needs to elevate their game. Their receivers aren't good enough, and neither was Cody. Nothing wrong with higher expectations. We should all strive to be better at whatever job we do in life. All the best, Trevor. I feel like I sit here and extol these dad concepts. And I'm sure your dad said the same sort of things to you, Darren. But it's like I had my dad telling me, I had amateur sports coaches telling me, I had bosses later in life saying, we need more out of you. And you know what? It hurt my feelings. It did. But it made me look at myself and be better. Not piss and moan. And by the way, do you think my dad was ever going to apologize?
Not a chance.
Where are we? Like, Theo said it. And there's only one Theo. When I say Theo, you know who we're talking about here. And for those that don't know, Theron Fleury. Theo and I are pretty good friends. And as you know, when you're on the inside with me, you're on the inside with me. And we were in this recovery coach academy in May, as you know, the two of us, becoming certified recovery coaches in mental health and addictions. And, you know, when those Zoom calls are over and you just kind of hang around and keep talking. That's what Theo and I did the one day. And we talked about how soft society is. And I said, I used the pendulum theory to Theo. I said, you know, in society, I've read these books, Theo. I mean, what's the one I gave you? The one about leadership?
Leaders eat last. Leaders eat last.
Leaders eat last. Yeah, it talked about generational swings with the way society is mentally. And it goes to a point and then it comes back. And Theo's like, we're done. We're not coming back. We've gone too far as a society. That's what Theo thinks. What do you think? I'd like to think we're coming back at some point.
It'll come back.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. And, you know, we get into this area and we see people, you know, want the easy way out and not work for anything. And I've heard it. I've read it. A lot of it's, whether it's a parenting issue, we've instilled this in our kids because, you know, the generation that's raising the soft society, they had it tough, right? And that's what made them so great and accomplish so much and, you know, being pushed. But they don't want their kids to have a difficult life. And it's all comes from a great place of intent, right? I want to provide now because I had to struggle. I don't want you to struggle. I don't want you to have to go through it because I went through it, right? And it creates this soft kind of society a little bit where we don't know how to deal with adversity. And eventually we'll start seeing, you know, a real rise in the number of people that can't deal with adversity as well. And so it'll make the people who can stand out. And when they stand out and they have success because they can deal with adversity, then it'll make more people want to learn how to go through that. So it will come back eventually. It might take a generation, though. So we're going to go through this one generation, and the next one will be tougher.
I swear we will get back to talking sports, folks, at some point. But in this Recovery Coach Academy, I just got to tell this story. It was based out of Hartford, Connecticut. And it was that whole raise your hand on the Zoom call if you have a question. So Theo raises his virtual hand. And the guy that's running the academy goes, we have a question here from a Theo. He goes, call me Theo. And one of the other guys that was in the academy with me goes, do you think these guys knew that this was a point-a-game guy over 1,000 games in the National Hockey League? I said, no clue. No idea. It's of a bunch of Americans. They would have no idea that it was Theron Fleury, Stanley Cup, Olympic gold medal winning forward. But anyways, Theo's a beaut. William May in Lloydminster says it will swing back and hopefully soon. I don't know. I hope not only that it does swing back, but that we're the reason for it.
Well, it's going to happen in sports, and here's why. Here's how it's going to happen, because coaches are always looking for an edge. And so right now, we've gone through this era of real tough hockey where every team had an enforcer, and it was really physical, and guys like Eric Lindros, the power forward, were superstars. And now we've gone into this speed, skill. You got to be fast. And if you can't skate, it's going to be a problem. And every team's going that way, modeling what we've seen in the game of hockey. Well, every team's going to get to that point where it's all speed, all skill, all fast, smaller players, and maybe some bigger players, but it's all about the speed of the game. Some coach is going to come along and say, I can have an edge if I play physical, because nobody knows how to deal with physical anymore. And they're going to have a big team that's physical, and it's really going to shake things up. And if they have success and win, more coaches will go that way. So it'll swing back. I have no doubt.
God, I hope you're right. Well, I hope everybody's enjoying the show today. But you know what? I am. And that's really all that matters. And you too, I think. And I got your text, by the way, about good for you. I'll leave that as a surprise for everybody. From Northside YEG, watching on YouTube, says Eddie Steele let go from 630 Ched for talking about Brock Sunderland on this show. I know, dude. Coffee starts at 10 a.m. Mountain. Show up for it. We've already discussed it. Darren Workman watching in Salt Lake City, Utah. A dad apologizing in the 70s or 80s. I just fell out of my chair laughing. Thanks for the laugh, Rod. Right? How about, let's talk about the day my dad thought that I gave him the finger behind his back, which I didn't.
Oh,
how do you think that went over? There was no convincing him that I didn't, but I didn't, Darren.
That's why we had wood stoves and the wooden fireplace, because that's how Dad took out the anger, chopping wood in the backyard, right?
Well, that's why I think so many people are soft about this Blue Jays thing. They've grown up in this participation trophy ribbon society that, we led the majors in home runs and Vladdy had an MVP season, so it was a good season. I'm not going down that road again, but holy smokes, did we get people going on that. And my cousin Christine in Medicine Hat is watching, and she says, oh, my. Yeah, you're telling me, Chris. Sometimes I feel like it's just me and Chris on this show talking about my dad. Where was I, Moose? Let's get back on point.
I'm okay with dad stories.
I got a million. What do I have here? Oh, American League wildcard. Xander Bogaerts and Kyle Schwarber homered off Yankees ace Garrett Cole to help the Boston Red Sox beat New York 6-2 in the American League wildcard game. Nathan Eovaldi took a shutout into the sixth inning for Boston. That's hard to beat. The Red Sox will play the AL East champion Tampa Bay Rays in the best-of-5 division series starting Thursday night in Florida. I get the sense down here, like this is football mad country, and I'm hanging around hockey people. So I'm not hearing very much talk about baseball, other than to say there are Yankees fans down here, and they're very upset because they're like, this is why we got Garrett Cole. for one-game showdowns like this. He was chased from the game. But anyways, I wanted to talk about this too, and Brady Leavold coming up in the next block. You are watching the RP Show live on Game Plus Television, also YouTube and sports radio, rodpedersen.com/listen live. I mentioned that I wrote a column on last night's Lightning Florida Panthers game, a 10 things column, which everybody likes those 10 things column because society has such a short attention span, Darren. What were we talking about? Oh, the game last night, 3-2 Panthers over the Lightning in Orlando, and it was a fight fest. And Corey Perry, this is the first time I saw him play. I don't know if he played in the preseason yet for Tampa Bay or not. What a runt this guy is. And Sam Bennett, where did Sam Bennett come from? He runs Andrei Vasilevsky behind the net last night. It's amazing. I loved it. Right? Bro, a Donnybrook breaks out. And everybody's out of their seats going nuts in Orlando for this game. And it touched off several melees. So there was Corey Perry goes and fights Owen Tippett for some reason after Sam Bennett runs Vasilevsky. Why don't you go after Sam Bennett? Bennett would have fought you. But anyways, then there was scrums after every whistle. And then once they got into the third period, it was just gloves were hitting the ice. And it was a yard sale. And it got to the point where I went in this morning and I added up the penalty minutes. It was only like just over 100 penalty minutes. It felt like 300, but it's today's NHL. 5 fights feels like 20 fights, right? From the old days. And I'm thinking these two teams meet in Tampa on Thursday night. And Joe Thornton, not like he's going to do anything physically in the game, but the fit might hit the shan on Thursday night at Amalie Arena. And this, listen, you tell me what other NHL preseason back-to-backers or rivals are doing this right now in NHL preseason play. I'll wait.
It's not happening. It's not happening anywhere. It's unbelievable. I mean, when you got Tampa and Florida like that and 2 non-traditional hockey markets, you got the defending Stanley Cup champions 2 times. You got Florida, who almost knocked them off, were their biggest threat throughout the playoffs, it felt like. Unbelievable stuff. And Sam Bennett, by the way, has not only, found a real nice home in Florida, he's kind of resurrected his career. They kicked him out of town in Calgary. At least that's what it feels like from the outside. And he was a star in Florida in the playoffs, chipping in, playing tough minutes, playoff hockey. And now look what he's doing. He's a leader on that team with the Panthers. So what a great fit.
What a great storyline. This is one to watch. And we're going to break and bring in Brady Leavold. But like I said, the Panthers included my 10 things column this morning in their news clippings. And I did not expect this kind of treatment from the Florida Panthers when I came down here, man. Are we having a moment? Have they overcome the Vegas Golden Knights as my team? I'm starting to think so.
Maybe.
Moose, we'll see you a little later on, okay?
Sounds good. I'll be here.
It is the RP Show, and you are watching on Game Plus Television. YouTube Live, no Facebook this week, and maybe never again. And 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Hey, Dawn.
Hey, Quinn.
We have a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Capital is Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalfordlincoln.com to see how we roll and to learn about what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's what you get when you choose Capital Ford Lincoln, Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
If it looks familiar, it should. The beach front of Rayburn House in the Florida Keys. We're coming to you from beautiful South Florida. Dodge City today. We'll be back at the beach house in Pompano Beach tomorrow. Just ahead of Brady Leavold joining us, former Swift Current Bronco, Kelowna Rocket, and Norfolk Admiral Roger Yee writes this from Calgary. He's watching on Game Plus TV and says, Rod, please keep preaching about how soft people are these days. We need to cancel culture. And from Steve P., great to see you on TV and listen to your perspective. Loved you on the cage. Cheers from Steve P., living in Abbotsford now. And yes, the pendulum will swing back to normal. Not all kids are entitled. Lots of hardworking ones out there that still strive to be the best. So we're giving out a lot of life lessons today, and good spot to bring in Brady Leavold from the Puck Support movement. Life's kind of knocked the crap out of you too, Brady, just like me, huh?
Yeah. Hey, Rod, how are you? First-time caller, long-time listener.
Yeah, I appreciate you watching all the time and chiming in. And what are we talking about today, Brady, by the way?
That's a good question, Rod. I mean, there's so many things that we could cover. I know you mentioned Theo and the work that you've done and you know, maybe how that relates to kind of what I'm doing in the sport world and what I've gone through. And, you know, I'm just, before we go any further, kudos to all of you guys over there and Moose on the recent award. You guys do a tremendous job. I obviously have my own podcast and watch you guys very closely. You guys are the pros. You guys are doing something incredible. Huge fan. Pleasure to be here. But yes, lots to talk about. And just once again, thanks for having me. And thanks for all the work that you do in the recovery community. Because I think now more than ever, we're seeing some major problems in society surrounding addiction and mental illness.
Oh, there's no two ways about that, Brady. And I appreciate all the kind words. And we're going to have some fun here today. We don't have as much time as we usually do, but Brady's podcast is Hockey to Heroin. What is it? Hockey to Hell and Back? Hockey to Heroin?
That's
You
right.
got a few different names for what you're doing.
Yeah, it was Hockey to Heroin. I changed the name so it's not so rigid and rough around the edges. It's now Hockey to Hell and Back. But yeah, the long story short, right? Like WHL player on the outside. Everything looks pretty good, but struggled a lot through my junior career early on. Was sexually abused. I also had Theo on my show. He's somebody that I look up to tremendously as well, but struggled through my junior career. Tons of ups and downs, but still managed to turn pro. But my first year pro, I was prescribed a painkiller, and one thing led to another, and it didn't take very long for me to lose my hockey career, my family, my self-respect, my dignity, and I found myself homeless and behind bars, places you never think when you're trying to search out your dreams as a hockey player. Like, I felt not this close, but kind of close, right, in the American Hockey League. And it didn't take very long for me to fall. And, luckily I was able to battle out of it. 2 days, Rod's going to be 19 months, which is something that I never thought I could get to. But in that 19 months, it's been a lot of work. And I've been doing a lot of work in that space, in the mental illness and addiction space, certainly in the hockey community. And I just have to give a shout out to the entire hockey community, because without their support, I'm probably not sitting here today. I've never been more reminded how important hockey is to me, not just the game, but the people involved, because they've really rallied around my story, embraced it. And for the most part, I've had nothing but positive feedback. But in the process, Rod, I've uncovered a lot of stories that are similar to mine that, I would have never thought that I would have found. Those individuals, some of them you can see behind me, tragically, they've lost their life to suicide or overdose. And the numbers are staggering, and we're just talking hockey players. So trying to take it upon myself, Rod, to do what I can and try to make some partnerships. And we got a cool one coming down the pipeline with Minor League Madness and your friend Tyler Smith, friend of the show as well. It's going to be coming out October 12th. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, starting an organization, just trying to help people, Rod, and lots of work to go.
Yeah, well, for our hockey fans that are watching in South Florida, you did sign a contract with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and you played in their system. But as we talk here, Brady, things always come up. But I'd like to know your opinion on Robin Lehner calling out the NHL for dispensing benzos without a doctor's prescription. Because now, this morning, people are sending me stuff. There are other former NHLers that have come to Robin Lehner's aid or support, if you will. And I've just tweeted. I said, nobody's cramming it down their throat. At some point, guys got to take responsibility for themselves. You and I are both in recovery from addiction. So I love Robin Lehner, but I'm like, guys, look in the mirror.
It's a good point, Rod. I mean, I think at first I never really looked at it that perspective for whatever reason. You've been in recovery longer than me, so I'm still learning. It's a great perspective. I think that guys do need to be more accountable, but at the same time, having been in that position myself with an injury, and having, doctors say, here, take this, and not having the knowledge, not having really any idea of what it is and what it's going to do and maybe the long-term effects of it. So I think instead of, and I'm friends with Robin, I talk to him at least once a week through text, and, I have his back 100%. I don't know if maybe he did go about it the right way, but at the same time, he's brash. I think that's where we're going to see positive change. But at the same time, I would like to see more being done right from the younger generation, just educating kids inside and outside of hockey. But let's talk about hockey for a second, and, just letting them know that, hey, when you get to a certain point, maybe an injury, or you get to the pros and you're on road trips and you're having trouble sleeping, like, these options are going to be available to you. But what does that look like, and what are the consequences, maybe becoming dependent on them or whatever? So I certainly see both sides of it. I think we're getting to a point now where there just needs to be more education around it. And then the onus does become on the players, because nobody can say, hey, they didn't know. But if they're actually taking the proper precautions to educate their players, instead of assuming that, hey, the doctors are doing it or whatever, because I'll tell you, this was years ago, but when I blew my knee out and I walked into the doctor's office, it was like, here's a prescription of OxyContin, and it was no, hey, you might get addicted or this or that. And it was like, holy, and it just took a hold of my life. And I'm not the only one. So again, there's no blame here for me. I just think that more needs to be done. And I'm certainly trying to do my part, Rod. I've been talking to a lot of minor hockey associations, sharing my story. And it's been a great gift to me, and the feedback's been great. So if we can make little changes around the country, around the states, wherever it is, then hopefully we're trending in the right direction.
We we just need to talk about it more. That's all, and educate those kids. But I think you and I are two pretty good examples of guys that our whole lives, Brady, people were in our face knowing there was something wrong with us, and we were like, bugger off, leave us alone. It wasn't until we got serious and realized that we were the problem. That's all. And I'll leave it on this because we got to run, and I wish we had more time. But the Tampa Bay Lightning are the marquee franchise in the NHL. Obviously, back-to-back Stanley Cup winners, and they're talking about a three-peat. They also have the best mental health coach in the National Hockey League. Right? This guy is on staff. And while other teams have a guy available to them, that he's very active with their players. And it's just, I think we need to, as a hockey culture, talk about this stuff more. That's all. And stop pointing the finger at each other. They had a great one when I was there. Max Offenberger was his name, and he was fantastic. Tampa's always done a great job. And Dean Chanel actually brought him into Swift Current just to meet me when I was 17 because I was so mentally ill. But listen, Rod, I'm a huge fan. Keep doing what you guys are doing. Anytime you want to have me on, I'm always here, but I'm always watching, trying to learn from you. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Brady. Appreciate you, man. Brady Leavold, former hockey pro and WHL Star, joining us from Muskoka, Ontario. We'll take a time out. We're really covering a lot of ground today. Broadcasting live from Dodge City. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Hey, Matt, how's it going? We have something really special.
Holy, it's pretty impressive.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Safety is a primary pillar at Core Grain. We have core certification. Our workers are following best practices in the industry for safety. We always want to make sure that our contractors, us here at the shop, and our customers can come to work and go home at the end of every day. Give Core Grain Systems a call today.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
RP Show continues from sunny and beautiful South Florida. That's a shot of the Intercoastal. Get a ride on the water taxi if you get a chance. You won't forget it. Just ahead of Moose rejoining us, a sports update. The Boston Red Sox have earned themselves a few days here in Florida. The Bo Sox moved into the American League Division Series by thumping the Yankees 6-2 Tuesday night in the wild card game. Xander Bogaerts and Kyle Schwarber belted early homers to back a sterling performance by Nathan Eovaldi. The ALDS begins Thursday in St. Petersburg, Florida, as the Red Sox take on the Tampa Bay Rays. Meanwhile, it'll be a pitcher's duel tonight. In the NL wildcard game, Adam Wainwright gets the start for the Cards. In the one-and-done game, Max Scherzer goes for the Dodgers. It's an 8:20 p.m. Eastern first pitch. NHL last night, Philip Grubauer stopped all 38 shots he faced as the Seattle Kraken blanked the Vancouver Canucks 4-0. Also, Nick Ritchie scored twice to lead the Leafs past the Montreal Canadiens 6-2. But in the game that everybody cares about, let's be honest, Owen Tippett scored twice in the third period to lead the Florida Panthers to a 3-2 victory over the Tampa Bay Lightning in Orlando. Busy night of preseason play tonight. The Flames visit the Winnipeg Jets, both teams coming off losses. Calgary fell to the Oilers 4-3 Monday night, and Winnipeg lost 3-2 in Vancouver. Veteran quarterback McLeod Bethel-Thompson will make a second straight start for Toronto as the Argos host the Ottawa Redblacks to kick off Week 10 in the CFL tonight. The sports update brought to you by Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games and book your group or business Christmas party now for the Tap Brew House and drive-through liquor store where you'll never, ever have to ask for the CFL games to be put on. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. Welcome back into the bunker, Moose. How are you?
I'm doing well. Doing well.
Good. The Week 10 of the CFL kicks off. I just got to run this by you for BetRegal.net, our exclusive betting partner. We got 90 seconds, they tell me. Ottawa, Toronto tonight. You tell me if you're taking the bet or you're not. Simple. Argos favored by 9.
Yes. Taking it.
Friday night, and I'll tell you what, I'm taking it too. Friday night, Edmonton Elks at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The Bombers favored by 14. Yay or nay? Deal or no deal?
No deal. I'm taking the Elks to cover.
No deal?
No deal.
Me too. Saturday, Calgary at Saskatchewan. Rough Riders are favored by 2.5. Deal or no deal?
Deal. I'll take the Riders.
You taking the deal? Riders to cover the spread at 2.5. And Monday, Ottawa at Montreal. Alouettes favored by 6.5. Deal or no deal?
Ooh, I know. Deal. And I love this segment. We got to do this more often.
Deal or no deal for BetRegal.net. By the way, sign up now for the Play Free Sportsbook. I do it. All you need is an email address and proof of age and have a lot of fun putting a little BetRegal points action on the game. Hour 2 coming up next. Darren Dreger, TSN NHL Insider, and a whole lot more of this. Be right back after this break on Game Plus TV.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Prairie Mobile is your SaskTel authorized dealer. Whether you're looking for talk, text, or data, shared, unlimited, or business plans, Prairie Mobile will help you find the SaskTel wireless plan that's right for you. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
At Core Grain, we strive to be the most qualified grain storage and grain conditioning experts in Canada. Visit us today at coregrain.ca. Core Grain, doing the right thing for your farm.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You got to be the happiest guy in the world because all the meetings that are going on behind closed doors with the Jaguars pertain with Urban Meyer, and they're not getting ready for the Tennessee Titans this weekend.
I wish that were the case. They're getting ready for the Titans. This distraction is hanging over their heads, and now you got players that are sitting there, and it's a double standard now because he clearly isn't.
When you do screw up, you got to face the music, pay the piper, fall on your sword, as I say it.
On the road with the Rod Pedersen Show.
We are, and welcome everybody to beautiful South Florida, where it is just after 1 p.m. Eastern on this Wednesday, October the 6th, in the year of our Lord, 2021. And as we sit here, I believe Urban Meyer is still employed by the Jacksonville Jaguars. We had fun with that topic yesterday. We reverted a little bit here as we bring in Moose for hour 2. He's in the bunker back in the sweatpants capital. And Moose, we got back to our roots today where I just said we are Canada's daytime sports talk show. And my guess, as busy as you are, you have spent 0 seconds thinking about renaming the show from Canada's daytime sports talk show to anything else. But
I have.
Yeah,
but,
go ahead.
You know, I'm on a different vein.
Thinking?
Like, I'm thinking we move back to The View for sports fans, Golden Corral of sports talk. Can that be a permanent tag? You know, does it have to be location-based? I don't know.
Let's just keep thinking about it. You know what? I think you should come to South Florida and we should have one of those strategic planning sessions that I was telling you about. What do you say?
I could get behind that.
Scott Powell's watching in North Carolina. on YouTube, and he says, hello, please say hi to my sister. Where is she, Scott? Tell me.
A name? Do we got a name?
I'll do it. Yeah, do we have a name? Like, I can only do so much here. People really enjoyed the Deal or No Deal segment at the end of hour one. See how these things just come to me? I asked for a sign from God this morning that I'm on the right track, and I've had a few. You still there?
Yeah. Did you see Scott? I thought you were looking at your screen. You're looking at me. Look at Scott.
No.
Scott.
What do you say?
Scott got back to you.
Her name is Sherry Houck, and she's a huge fan from the North Carolina foothills. Oh, I see. Hi, Sherry. Welcome to the RP Show. I thought he wanted me to track her down in South Florida, which I would have done. I only work 2 hours a day, okay? I got a lot of time to do other things. And if her name's Sherry Houck, I was at a guy's place the other day eating wings by the name of Eddie Houck. Are they related? I was at Eddie Houck's the other day eating wings. So, wings very big here in South Florida. Anyways, let's get serious here. From the Puck and Pigskin podcast. That's Jason in Red Deer, Alberta. He says, I feel like you need an outside opinion to help with the decision. I'm on my way, Rod. Everybody wants to come to South Florida. By the way, where's Jimmy Two Tables on that one, our sales manager? Because one of our viewers said yesterday, Tourism Florida should be sponsoring the show. We all want to come where you are. So, it's funny. We're not going to get serious. Why did I even suggest getting serious? Because I can't get serious. I just want to have fun here. So, listen, my phone is blowing up, Moose, from football guys about Eddie Steele getting fired by the Edmonton Elks and the radio station that carries their games. And we'll get to that in a minute. But people, squirrel here. Squirrel.
Okay.
I got to... Earl James on YouTube says, what's the coverage of Urban Meyer like in Florida? Can we make a mental note of that and I'll come back? I did cover this yesterday. You remember. I talked about this yesterday on WQAM, The Joe. Yeah, I'll tell you what the coverage has been like because I've been listening to that too. But I just want to tell you a story how things have gone. Yeah. I almost broke down last hour saying about how great the Florida Panthers have been to me.
Yeah.
I ain't pulling your leg. So Friday night in the press box, their VP of Communications, her name's Addie. That's her nickname, Addie. We got talking about plans for this show and the Panthers and an association that we can build. And she says, you need to meet Randy Moeller. He's our color commentator and he's our head of alumni. And I said, well, where's Randy? She goes, he's sitting right there. Let's go up and say hi. So I went up and she's like, Randy, this is Rod Pedersen from the Rod Pedersen Show. He's from Western Canada. And I said, I know your brother Mike from the Rebels days, Rebels Radio. He does color, or did do color for the Red Deer Rebels. Addie laughs. She's like, well, it looks like you two got lots to talk about. I'll just get out of your way. And then from there, it just went. And it ended up with Randy Moeller saying, you can't have enough Western Canadian guys affiliated with the Panthers. Come on down. So here we are. We got the smoke.
Speaking of the travel and everything, I feel like we should just put a big wheel here, and each, a little triangle on the wheel will be Florida, Vegas, all these. We'll just spin it every month. Where are we going next? And see where it lands.
Hey, Vegas called me, as you know, and they said, when are we getting you out here? And I said, what are you going to do to get us out there? How are you going to sweeten the pot, man?
Yeah.
What?
I love it. That's what we want, right? And not just there. We were in Calgary and Winnipeg, and we're talking about that, and Edmonton and Vegas and Florida and Seattle and all these hockey markets now. I think we just spin the wheel and literally see where we can go, and we'll build these relationships all along the way and connect with the fan bases and bring them in, make them part of the show, and that's going to be so much fun. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Well, and Tacona Powley's watching in Winnipeg, and he says, Randy Moeller? Team Canada in the 80s? I don't know, man. Go look up his hockey DB. I remember having his Buffalo Sabres hockey card. I remember that. I don't know if he played for Team Canada. I didn't know if he was that good. From my cousin Christine in Medicine Hat, she says, I think we should all come to Florida. Come on down. There's plenty of room, believe me. And by the way, I'm reading this thing on the TSN Insiders last night, coming up tonight on the TSN Insider Training, capacity limits for NHL games in Canada. I'm like, what? This is still a thing? I was at the Dolphins game Sunday with 80,000 people. COVID's a rumor, man. Sheesh. More from Tacona Pally. Like, here's the thing. I told you that I had these people in South Florida saying, Rod, you're a trailblazer. You're always ahead of everybody. And I said, I know, and it gets a little frustrating and exhausting waiting for everybody to keep up. But Tacona Pally in Winnipeg says, hey, Rod, how was last night's game? Any fights? He says, yes, I'm late to the show today. He's talking about the Panthers and the Lightning last night in Orlando. It was a fight fest. It was a Donnybrook after Donnybrook. A brouhaha. Really all started by Sam Bennett running Andre Vasilevsky behind Tampa Bay's net. And it was glorious. Randy Moeller on the broadcast and Steve Goldie Goldstein. Did you see the highlight of it, by the way, Darren? Or am I just explaining it well enough you don't need to? You saw?
I saw it. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Vazzy goes back to play the puck behind the net, and Sam Bennett just doesn't even lay off. Boom. Flippers in the air, and away they go. And I don't know who it was on the broadcast. One of those guys was like, here we go. And the whole ring's going nuts. Yeah, there was, like I said last hour, there were 5 fights, but it felt like 30. Because in today's hockey, there's never any fights, especially the preseason. Really, you don't fight to make the team in the National Hockey League anymore. And tell me why Corey Perry's fighting twice last night, other than he's Corey Perry, and he's just being a pain in the ass.
It's his job. That's his job, right? Now, used to be a leading goal scorer and be on the first line on the wing and be that guy. And now it's to be a pain in the butt. It really is. I mean, for Tampa, that's what he's going to provide. He's like, look, I'm not coming here to put up more offense than Braden Point or Steven Stamkos or Nikita Kucherov. I'm not going to kill penalties like this guy, or I'm here to be the pain in the butt and be the guy that's hard to play against and take care of all these things. He needs to play a role and have a role, so he's on the ice every week and every game. So that's what he's there to do.
I guess, but did it work for Montreal last year? I guess. I mean, I guess. Maybe that should be the poll question, by the way. Would you take Corey Perry on your team? Won a Stanley Cup with Anaheim, helped take Montreal to the Stanley Cup final. So, yeah, this is funny. Where is it? Jeff in Winnipeg says, I haven't heard the term Donnybrook in a long time. LOL.
How about that?
Donnybrook. A melee.
A melee.
Or a brouhaha. From Wayne in Victoria says, lots of COVID restrictions in Canada. Thank you, Wayne. You're really making it enticing for me to come home. Not. I'm going to get to this Eddie Steele stuff in a moment because everybody's talking about that. But just Earl James was asking, what's the coverage of Urban Meyer like? What do you think the coverage is like? I'm sitting down here in South Florida. Jacksonville's just up the coast, and they're making fun of the Jaguars and their head coach for being caught on video in a bar in Columbus, Ohio with some woman. I haven't watched the video, and I don't assume you have either, Darren. I just didn't want to watch it. But they're all over it. I didn't listen to it today because I wasn't on the highway. But, yeah, it's Florida. It's football. That's all they're talking about.
That's right.
Jack Fulton watching in Vulcan. Hang on. Jack Fulton in Calgary area says, Rod, Darren, the good Lord is directing your way, opening doors across North America. On that vein, it's 111.
11-11.
And where you are, 11-11. The doors of opportunity are opening. Walk through them. Joe Lazito is watching on Long Island. He says, I can't wait to tell Clark Gillies. It just slipped off my screen. Do you want to read it? Do you see it? Do you have the one? Do you have it there?
I do not, because I see.
I can't wait to tell Clark Gillies that we have an uphill battle ahead of you to get you to turn your allegiance to the Islanders. Not happening, Joe. Don't even waste your breath. Clarkie invited me to the new arena there on Long Island to sit in the owner's suite and drink beers. And I'm like, Clarkie, you're 6.5 years too late on that one. I won't be drinking with you in the owner's suite or anywhere. As Jennifer Illingsworth from the Four Seasons writes in, she says, 11-11. Thank you. Nelson Vo, our content creator, writes in and says, Stephon Gilmore traded to the Carolina Panthers instead of released. Just reported by Ian Rappaport.
Wow.
Terry Carrier says, you forgot Pier 5 Brawl or a Whalenism, a ring-a-ding-dong dandy. Try that in Florida. Yep. So we do have games to talk about, by the way. We could do that. How about that? And we did cover it near the end of hour one. Our new segment for BetRegal.net, Deal or No Deal. I think that's going to catch on.
I do too.
But our viewers in Winnipeg saying it 12-12, by the way. But that means something too. You look it up. But people, they love the dirt. They love the dirty laundry. So Eddie Steele gets let go by the Edmonton Elks radio network for very critical comments of their general manager, Brock Sunderland, made on this show. And I was watching the Panthers and Lightning game last night when Eddie called. And he said, I just got smoked. And he knew it was coming. And I said, are you all right? He said, I'm fine. And he pretty much tweeted all of that today. Go have a look at his Twitter feed this morning after announcing that he'd been let go for his critical comments. And he said he knew why he was let go. He knew that he went over the line with his comments, but he stands by them. And it's very troubling to see the Edmonton Elks being run in the fashion that they are. Now, I said the same thing last week before Eddie even said it. I said, how many grease fires need to break out in Edmonton before we start to point the finger at somebody and realize this is a problem? Well, Eddie didn't speak in as many generalities. He pointed the finger right at Brock Sunderland. It's pretty much a no-no on the rights holder, Darren, if you're aware of that.
Yeah.
And here we are. But these football guys are people, they just don't understand. You understand? The football guys are like, I'm not the broadcasters, the football people, the scouts, the coaches, these kinds of guys. Some players are like, we didn't say anything that's not right.
It's not the way the world works, unfortunately. And Eddie knows this.
No.
Eddie knows it.
Yeah.
And he still feels good that he said it, which means, getting that off his chest and being honest and being real is more important than working for the team or working for the team's official broadcaster, because the team and the broadcaster have that relationship. And so he's okay with that, and that's good. I'm okay with it if he's okay with it. But you're right. You can't just go around saying what you want. It doesn't matter. It's the same in any job, too. You can't just go and, talk about your boss if you don't like him to everybody around you and expect to just keep your job. It doesn't matter if you're right or if you're wrong. Those are private conversations, right? So, he's there to be an analyst, sure, of the game and of the people in the organization, but you have to, toe the line a little bit. And he knew it was going to happen. We're not surprised that it happened. And, Eddie will find a better place as a result, I'm sure.
Well, and I'll say it again to these football people that they can't figure it out. They don't understand why Eddie would be let go for saying the truth. And I'm like, you guys, you got to understand. These people would know better than anybody. My dad was a scout in the National Hockey League for 26 years. You should hear the things that he said to me that he would never say to his boss.
Yeah.
It's no different. And you're saying, Eddie said this on national television. You can't say those things if you want to keep your job. So it's really no different, and you need to decide, is the job worth it or not? And speaking of all that, and we can get into this when we come back, but Scott Powell in North Carolina watching says, I'm sorry, I have no problem with Cody Fajardo calling out his receivers. I think more quarterbacks should. Heck, it's okay for them to put all the blame on themselves. Sorry, this political correctness BS is not teaching our young at all. Let's talk about that and more when we come back. They want to talk about John Hufnagel. Is he the best general manager in CFL history? It's a fun debate. He's not, by the way. That honor goes to a guy by the name of James Pop in his 6 Grey Cup rings. So we got a lot to get to. It's hour 2 of the RP show coming to you from Dodge City in gorgeous South Florida today. Hour 2 is brought to you by Core Grain, doing the right thing for your farm. We'll be right back. You're watching on Game Plus Television Network, YouTube, and Facebook Live and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Capital is Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalgmc.ca to see how we roll and to learn what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's exactly what you'll get when you choose Capital GMC, Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sounds, feeling the air, it's the best thing anywhere. Just give me back my game. 'Cause I live for the drama, I live for the emotion. No one can take me down, bring me back my football.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Quinn.
We have a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, the bridge is down. The bridge is down in Fort Lauderdale. Choo-choo.
How about that?
How about that? Hey, welcome back to the RP Show. It's hour 2, brought to you by Core Grain. Hey, just before we bring Moose back on camera, a sports update. The 106-win Los Angeles Dodgers put their season on the line in the National League wildcard game against the red-hot St. Louis Cardinals tonight. No team has ever won so many games and failed to win its division. But L.A. couldn't catch the 107-win San Francisco Giants. Max Scherzer goes for the Dodgers. He'll face the Cardinals' 40-year-old Adam Wainwright. 8:10. First pitch Eastern. Xander Bogaerts and the Boston Red Sox are all set to face Tampa Bay in the best of five ALDS after beating the rival New York Yankees 6-2 in the AL wildcard game last night. Blue Jays general manager Ross Atkins will hold a season-ending media availability today to discuss the team's promising season that ended up just short of a playoff berth. Of course, he's going to say that. And the fans are back. The crowds are loud, but home field advantage still isn't a factor early on in this NFL season. Road teams have won 33 of the 64 games over the first 4 weeks. That extends a trend that began in 2019 and continued through the pandemic-impacted 2020 season when games were played with few, if any, fans. Little analytics there from our friends at the NFL. This sports update for dubnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and information. Visit today, dubnetwork.ca. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, order yours today. They are fitness coach approved. Order them at g2gbars.ca. And RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. A lot of topics on the table here. Darren, as you well know, you can bring the Moose on. Let's get that nice face on the camera. We got to spend it. Like I said, some of our American viewers say, you'll lose me when you talk about the CFL. But this is a life thing, this Cody Fajardo thing that just isn't going away. Quarterback of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, former Oakland Raider for a time, Cody Fajardo, star with the Nevada Wolfpack, called out his receivers after Saturday's game. Saskatchewan lost at Calgary 23-17, and to paraphrase, said they had an absence of game breakers, playmakers, I believe is the way I took it, and you agree. So there's a lot of comments coming in. It's my commentary today on Cat Country 98 FM and Rock 98.5 FM. You can read it at rodpedersen.com. And these Americans just getting introduced to rodpedersen.com too, by the way, Darren. 33 million people can't be wrong. 2-time blog of the year in Canada, rodpedersen.com. Anyways, commenter here from Scott Thompson. He says the only thing that made it necessary, the apology, because Cody apologized Tuesday. Scott says it's because he called him out in the media instead of the locker room. I'm sure it was appreciated by his teammates. This could be a galvanizing moment for the team. I'll be attending Saturday's game in person. I'm sure it's going to be a beauty. The two teams meet again Saturday at Mosaic Stadium in Saskatchewan. The way he says that, I've been thinking about it too. It could galvanize the team. It could completely destroy the team too. What do you think?
We have no idea. And we have no idea how this was handled internally, how this was handled in the locker room. But all we can look at is, gather the information we have. We know what kind of guy Cody is. We've got a pretty good idea. You better than most. We know how he handles himself, and he had an emotional moment in the media, So I would assess it this way and say, look, he's probably done what he needs to do in that locker room and made sure he's good with his teammates. If he's not going to be able to go out there and lead them to any sort of victory, let alone a championship or playoffs or anything like that. So I'm sure he's good and they're all fine. This could bring them together. But you're right. All it takes is a couple of unhappy players to kind of start pulling at the threads of that locker room chemistry, and it could go the other way. But I think it probably pulls them together. I think they probably get on the same page here. I think that's the way it would be handled internally. And you know what? You want a guy who's emotional and who is fired up, leading you, and that's what Cody is. He's the guy who wears his heart on his sleeve a little bit, and you know where he stands.
Well, I could honestly sit and talk about this all day. I have had multiple one-on-one talks with Cody Fajardo about all kinds of things, and life being one of them, football. And when those media people from across the CFL were blowing up my phone last night, interrupting me watching the Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning, I might add, I said it's a little out of character for Cody. Because I'm a hard-on-the-sleeve kind of guy. I'm a God guy. When I lose it on this show, a lot of it's just for entertainment. So let's be honest. But I guess I've called out people on our staff. I have, now that I think about it. But it's never personal. And you know, when we started this show 586 episodes ago, sometimes I pulled some of our staff aside and I said, listen, you've been in sports. This is heat-of-the-moment stuff. Don't take it personally. Now that I think about it, that's exactly what Cody's done. It was a heat-of-the-moment thing. And by the way, I wasn't going to take back what I said then, and I don't think Cody should have had to take it back Tuesday with an apology. So when you said, who knows what's going on behind the scenes, that's what I put in my commentary. Who got to Cody? Who said, you better apologize because you hurt some of your teammates' feelings? That's what I think happened. And I'm kind of disappointed if that's what happened.
Yeah, and I do think there's a lot of the fan base involved in this. We see some of the negative stuff that's happened in social. And you go back a couple of weeks ago to Cody, you know, talking about the criticism that they've seen on social and how it affects them and how they're humans too. I think this is a little bit of that too. I think he sees some of that, you know, negativity on social media. And maybe it was somebody in the office, the front office, that saw the negativity and went to Cody and says, look at, you know, you should make a statement. But I think he feels a little bit of that obligation to the fans. He doesn't really owe them anything. He's the quarterback. He owes his teammates and, you know, the organization, and he owes the fans a little bit, I guess. He feels that personal responsibility. I think it was more about the fan base and just saying, look, we're good. And don't think that I don't have good relationships or like my guys, you know, because they're a family, and that's how Cody treats it. So I think it was a lot about that too. And, you know, I think they'd like to put this behind him as fast as they can.
I said it yesterday. It's not behind them. I'm sure they'd like to put it behind them, but it's not behind them. But I said it yesterday. It's heat-of-the-moment stuff. He's a winner. This is what winners do. And you can't put a saddle on a Mustang. And they're putting a saddle on a Mustang. Let Cody be Cody. Oh, boy. The fit is hitting the shan on this Brock Sunderland thing, by the way. I have told you my phone's been going off like crazy
for
the last 24, 48 hours. Right. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I just saw that in the commercial break.
One of the writers said, stay tuned. Something's coming down the pipe here. And this is what do you call it? Cross section or transcends football. General Manager Brock Sunderland of the Edmonton Elks banned Joey Moss from the Edmonton locker room. Joey Moss is the beloved, he's not with us anymore, unfortunately, the beloved locker room attendant of the Edmonton Oilers and for the Edmonton Eskimos forever. And the story was Wayne Gretzky dated Joey's sister. That was who introduced Joey to the Edmonton sports scene back in the 80s. Brock Sunderland banned Joey Moss. What's going to be done about this? Because I think we talk about the pendulum swinging back. Eddie Steele getting fired for saying the truth. And now this. I feel like the torches are out in the pitchfork mob, and they're not going to settle for good people being lit on fire in Edmonton. Because a lot of them have.
We got a new poll question.
Go ahead.
And it's who's in a worse situation, Brock Sunderland or Urban Meyer, right? Because it looks like they're both
How about that?
Not in a good spot right now. And, you know, I don't know the inner workings of what's going on in Edmonton, but I can see the publicity and the narrative, and the narrative's not good. Joey Moss is a fixture in Edmonton. They love, to this day, they still love him. Obviously, they miss him. But this is, I mean, whether he did it for reasons that were going to help the team or not help, doesn't matter. It's not looking good on Brock Sunderland, unfortunately, and I don't know how you come out of it.
Well, Eddie lost his job. Dwayne Mandrusiak lost his job. Joey Moss banned from the locker room. Like, listen, I know all these things. People have been saying, Rod, you should report this. You should report that. I'm like, it's not my team. It's not my scoop to break. But now Somebody's lifted the carpet in Edmonton and shone a light under there. It don't look too good. Wasn't my job to do it. Now here we go. Check my what? Oh, Dreger did? Okay, just a couple quick text messages before we break. And Dregs will appreciate this as the staunch Saskatchewan Rough Rider fan that he is. And the Rider Nation incensed this week with Cody Fajardo calling out his receivers after Saturday's loss in Calgary and then subsequently apologizing on Tuesday. Leonard writes in from the 536, if Cody is not a perfect quarterback, then you do not throw any member of your team under the bus, and the apology was appropriate. From Metal Shingle Guy writing in from the 306, Cody needed to clear the air. He walked off like a baby, Rod. Not a good look. Well, again, Cody's my guy. Can't do anything wrong in my books. And will this drama carry over into Saturday's game? Probably. Moose, we'll see you back here for overtime.
You betcha.
All right. We're broadcasting live from Dodge City in South Florida. It's the RP Show. TSN NHL insider Darren Dreger joins us live next. You're watching on the Game Plus television network across all 10 provinces and 31 states, including on the TDS cable carrier here in the Sunshine State. Live daily on YouTube and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sounds. Feeling the air, it's the best thing anywhere. Just give me back my game. 'Cause I live for the drama. I live for the emotion. No one can take me down. Bring me back my football.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
Capital is Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalfordlincoln.com to see how we roll and to learn about what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's what you get when you choose Capital Ford Lincoln, Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership.
Prairie Mobile is your SaskTel authorized dealer. Whether you're looking for talk, text, or data, shared, unlimited, or business plans, Prairie Mobile will help you find the SaskTel wireless plan that's right for you. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Hey, Matt, how's it going? We have something really special.
Holy, it's pretty impressive.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pie.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Beautiful South Florida, the place to be. That's the backside of Bo Camper's Sports Bar and Grill. Hosted us a couple times in our time down here. On Thursday, we'll be live from the Pompano Beach Club in Pompano Beach, Florida. But today we're in Dodge City. What a gorgeous day. What a time to be alive and talking NHL as TSN's Darren Dreger joins us today from Hogtown. Hey, Dregs, good to see you as always, my friend. How are you?
You know what? I'm doing okay. Obviously not quite as good as you with the backdrop that you've got. I've got this stingy old office bookshelf behind me, and there you are sitting in South Florida. So I'm envious.
You know what? I think of you guys all the time when you're down here covering these NHL GMs meetings from Boca Raton. It's just up the road for IMRES. I always thought that was the best gig in hockey. And I'm sitting here going, how come people aren't down here being hockey insiders in South Florida? Whatever. I get it. But, Dregs, I'm going to open up with this. Panthers Lightning last night. Donnybrook in Orlando. Melees all over the ice. Is this the best rivalry in the NHL right now?
Right now it is today as we have the conversation, because the proof, as they say, is in the pudding. And what we saw last night was, to quote Joel Quenneville, I mean, that's old time hockey. That's what it was. And, it started with Vasilevsky getting, I don't know if he got ran, but he certainly got bumped by, I think it was Sam Bennett of the Florida Panthers. And, then that just sparked everything. Obviously the Florida Panthers are envious. Every team in the league that hasn't won back-to-back Stanley Cups like the Tampa Bay Lightning is envious. I don't know how much of that is deep-rooted. I don't know that travels with one player to the next. But there's a certain level of animosity, and there is definitely some envy on the side of the Florida Panthers because they want what the Tampa Bay Lightning has. And I look at the Florida Panthers, Rod, I see a very good developing team here. And again, that's not news breaking. We saw the strides they made last year and the year before, and they're most definitely on the upswing. So that division is going to be an interesting one. And stuff like preseason shenanigans like we witnessed last night just makes it all the more interesting.
Oh, yeah, they loved it in Orlando. And I've been down here for a while, Dregs. I've been reading all the media. I've been listening to the radio when they say the Heat, not very good. Dolphins, terrible. The Marlins, always bad. The Panthers see this as their time to take center stage for the first time since 1996. So you're telling me you could see them doing something this year?
I really could. And, they're managed by Bill Zito, who is a highly respected guy. He's kind of slowly put his own stamp on things. And, as Pierre LeBrun, my colleague, mentioned on Insider Trading on TSN last night, the expectation is that they're going to get more business done, perhaps even before the start of the season, by extending Sasha Barkov to a multi-year, long-term deal. And that is going to be worth a ton of dough. There's some speculation that could be north of $10 million per. But when I look at that roster, when I look at players around the National Hockey League and I go, yeah, that's a tremendous amount of money, but he's worth it, I'd put Barkov in the category of he's worth it. And they've got some other intriguing pieces. They've got good young developing elements to that team. They've got, I would call, a healthy battle competition in the crease, even though you've got big time money invested there. But yeah, I don't think it's a stretch to think that the Florida Panthers certainly are a playoff-worthy team, and who knows? Maybe they'll take another step and be a contending team.
Dregs, this might shock you because a couple things. One, the majority of our viewers, our analytics show us, are American. Blows my mind. I don't understand why. But we had a poll last week, and it was, are you interested in NHL preseason hockey? And over 70% of people said no, they're not. I think they're lying. This is a bit of a rhetorical question. And in your case, yeah, obviously you love it. My question is, what do you love about NHL preseason hockey?
I love the new fits and the development stories, right? When, a young player who is finding his way in the National Hockey League just gets to that next level. And Rod, going back to our days, back in junior hockey in the Western Hockey League. I mean, you'd see that at that level, right? First-year player finds his way into the lineup. He's used sparingly. The second year, he makes great strides. And by the third year, he's potentially a star in major junior hockey. You see that at the NHL level as well. Then I look at the game we did last night, and it was the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens. And, there's a lot of competition, for example, on the left side, on left wing for the Maple Leafs. Nick Ritchie scores 2 goals, but he's expected to line up with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. Matthews isn't quite healthy enough yet. They've got Michael Bunting, who's expected to line with John Tavares and William Nylander. He didn't play last night, but Ilya Mikheyev slipped into that number 2 spot on the left side, and he scored a goal and had a couple of chances. So I always like the internal battles that go along with even the established teams like the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then some of the younger pieces like Jack Hughes. He's a little bit dinged up right now in New Jersey, but I watched the New Jersey Devils game the other night, and Jack Hughes, who's entering his 3rd year in the National Hockey League, he looks like he is absolutely ready to run. So I don't watch the vets as much. I understand there's a lot of mistakes in preseason hockey. It can be boring at times. But then you have what went down in Orlando last night between the Panthers and the Lightning, and some of the other intriguing stories team by team. So that's the stuff that keeps me engaged and entertained in exhibition play.
No kidding. Well, you and I would say, are both disciples to a degree of Kelly McCrimmon. And I remember Krim saying shortly after he got to Vegas, he said, we're not doing anything different in the NHL than we were doing in the WHL. It's just to scale. And I believe he was talking about player movement. He was talking about business. Do you believe that's the case? And if so, how and why?
It is the case in how you structure and build your organization. How you manage it, though, is obviously different because of the money that's involved here. In the Western Hockey League, players are there because they're looking to play at a higher level. And yeah, of course, there's money involved, but certainly not the millions, the magnitude of what you see in the NHL. And the players don't yield the same level of power over the clubs in major junior college as they do in the National Hockey League. I mean, there's legit concern with a star player going into the final year of his contract and, looking at unrestricted free agency. Again, when you're dealing with a hard cap in the National Hockey League, especially throughout this pandemic where it doesn't look like it's going to go up a whole bunch, you have to get real creative. And to a degree, Rod, as we saw from the Vegas Golden Knights and specifically Kelly McCrimmon, you've got to make real difficult, if not cutthroat, business decisions. It rankles people, but you know what? That's the cost of winning. And McCrimmon and the Vegas Golden Knights want to win that Stanley Cup as much or perhaps more than a lot of teams in the National Hockey League, just by design where the Vegas Golden Knights are. So the similarities in how you build a winning roster most definitely are there, but then the business side of things definitely takes over as well.
Well, while we're on the topic, I hope this isn't too much of a grenade, but do you think, given Robin Lehner's comments on Saturday, that the Golden Knights might be regretting their decision and kept the wrong guy, or do you think this translates to on the ice at all?
I don't think it does. And, I don't think it's a grenade. I think that we've all talked about it either on the air or off the air. Look, in Robin Lehner, you get what you get. Now, if he's going to be as vocal as he obviously has been on social media and otherwise, that's great. We all appreciate honesty in our business and just generally in our life. So I deal better when I'm dealing with people who are upfront and they are honest with me. You don't like the question I'm asking? Well, tell me. Doesn't mean I'm going to ask it in a different way or I'm going to back off, but at least be honest and upfront in that. That's my world. That's my example. So I'm okay with Robin Lehner taking to social media in the fashion that he did, but you got to back it up. He's got to stop the puck, and I think that would be the position of Pete DeBoer, the head coach, or McCrimmon, George McPhee, management or ownership of the Vegas Golden Knights. We applaud the initiatives that Robin Lehner is supporting here, right? He wants to do what's best. He wants to leave the National Hockey League a better place than the one that he's living in now, evidently. And the one that he was brought into way back in the day. But he's got the power to say what he says and for that to resonate because he's a star goaltender in the National Hockey League. Look, every player has a voice, but if we're talking about a fringe player here, is he going to make the same amount of noise? Is there going to be the ripple effect? And unfortunately, the harsh reality that is not to the same degree. So I'm okay with Robert Leonard's comments. I'm okay with his positioning. But from a hockey perspective, from a competitive standpoint, he's got to be the star goaltender that the Golden Knights need him to be.
2 rapid-fire questions. Northside YEG, watching in Edmonton. That's his handle on YouTube. He says, who is this Brendan Perlini for the Oilers, leading the league in preseason goals? Is this a big shock?
Yeah, it's a bit of a shock, I would say. But, again, I always caution. We talked earlier about the preseason and why it matters. And it also presents opportunity. And for Perlini, this is opportunity. Do I think that, he is going to have a prolific offensive NHL season? No, I don't. But the confidence that you gain and the fact that you're fighting for a job and you're seizing your opportunity as a player, that's all you can ask of yourself. So I like it. It's a good story, but I don't think that it's going to be one that's going to sustain itself for very long.
Okay, Dregs. And the last one, the fun one I talked about, Jason Wall watching in Gimli. He says, Darren Dreger, the pride of McNutsask. And yes, I've been there, just west of Dropmore, Manitoba. I got to ask you, how was the cabbage, Dregs? The last that we talked, you were by your cottage cabin. How did that play out?
Oh, loved it. Thanks for asking. And in fact, I'm extraordinarily jealous of my daughter, Katie. She's a law student at Lakehead University in Thunder Bay. First year, by the way, so it's a reading week, and I trust she's going to be doing a lot of reading from this Friday until next Friday, but she's actually driving from Thunder Bay to the Cabbage, so she's going to get to spend some quality time there, and I don't think I'm getting there anytime soon, but we had a few weeks in the summer. We absolutely loved it. Rod, I'm in the process of buying a fishing boat so that I can invest my time on the golf course and on Lake of the Prairies next summer. I can't wait.
You wrote the check. That's what dads do. Now you're not needed anymore. You know that.
That's fair. Yeah, that's true. You're right.
All right, Driggs. As always, keep up the great work, man. Love watching you. Thanks for the time today.
All right, buddy. You enjoy your time there. Again, I'm jealous. I haven't traveled a lot in a pandemic. Went to Vancouver a couple of weeks ago, but Vancouver's a beautiful city, but it doesn't look like where you are. I miss it.
We'll be waiting for you. Thanks, Dregs. Darren Dreger checking in from Hogtown. We'll be back with Overtime, and the Moose will join us. You are watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pie.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Safety is a primary pillar at Core Green. We have core certification. Our workers are following best practices in the industry for safety. We always want to make sure that our contractors, us here at the shop, and our customers can come to work and go home at the end of every day. Give Core Green Systems a call today.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, We are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Prairie Mobile is your SaskTel authorized dealer. Whether you're looking for talk, text, or data, shared, unlimited, or business plans, Prairie Mobile will help you find the SaskTel wireless plan that's right for you. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Quinn.
We have a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
A look at the beautiful Robbies in Isla Mirada, the Florida Keys. That's where we went jet skiing the other day, Moose, on a Saturday afternoon with the wonderful tour guide Stevie B. And here we are wrapping it up today, asking our viewers to chime in on the comments section feed through YouTube, or you can text us at 306-840-8777. After a complete gong show on Monday on this show, Moose, I feel like things have really settled in a little bit. How do you feel about the last couple of days' shows? And we have no audio for Moose. Oh, there you go. Your mic was off. Say that again.
I said I love it. I love everything about it. We're in a good spot. It's nice and smooth today. You're right.
Awesome. So, by the way, I do want to talk about Bet Regal in a moment, but I see a lot of people in Winnipeg, where we're very big in Winnipeg, talking about tonight's game at the Wayne Fleming Arena. God's team, the Regina Pats, coming into town to take on the number 10 team in the entire CHL, the Winnipeg Ice. Connor Bedard in town. People are predicting what Connor Bedard, the Wonder Boy, will have on the stat sheet tonight. I guess the Pats probably on the bus by now. Wheels turning on their way to the Manitoba capital. What's your prediction for the Ice and the Pats tonight in Winnipeg?
I don't have a game prediction, but Bedard will go 2-2. 2 goals, 2 assists. He got a big night. Just, hey, don't be upset. That? Just appreciate the highlights and be happy you get a chance to see him in person.
I'll say 1 Gino, 1 Apple.
All right.
Tonight for Connor Bedard for God's team. And I think that Winnipeg will take the game 4-2. How about that? Fans in both places. So for our friends with Bet Regal in partnership with the Canadian Football League, recognizing community leaders who have gone above and beyond to support their neighbors. Simply fill out the details to nominate your community MVP so they have a chance to win a $5,000 grant to a charity of their choice and lots of CFL prizes. There you go. Go to betregal.net for all the information and to nominate your community MVP now. I got to say something about betregal.net, Darren, and I know you'll chime in on this. Canadian-founded, Canadian-owned company in the sports betting game. It's not a lot of these betting companies can say that. They're the exclusive betting partner of the Rod Pedersen Show and the Canadian Football League. These guys and gals put their money where their mouth is, and they're very proud of being Canadian.
Yeah, do a tremendous job, and I love the relationship we're building, and I think it's just going to lead to some long-term, real positive things. So it's exciting. The community stuff is amazing. And, man, it's so brand new for us, but I love it already. So it's great.
That's good. All right. Gotcha. BetRegal.net, fill it out. And again, well, tonight in the CFL, Week 10 kicks off. I'm looking at all the topics that we covered today. Tried to stay in the positive vein. Tried to educate people today. I don't know, Darren. I mean, you've been trying to guide me here with this Ted Lasso stuff. You're like, you don't need to explain yourself every day. Just live your life, and people will see, because that's what Ted Lasso does. And it's just like with these football guys blowing up my phone today. They're like, how come Eddie got fired? It's not fair. Eddie didn't say anything that's not right. Are they ever going to get it, Darren? Are we making some headway here in terms of, all these people that are like, oh, you're down in Florida. Are you going to be the voice of the Panthers? Are you going to be the voice of... No, man, I'm doing what I'm doing. Why is that not enough for people? This is what I'd rather do. They just don't understand. They don't understand how this business works.
No. And they've never been in it. They don't understand. I wouldn't expect them to understand. I don't think, I'm not sitting here waiting for them to understand, right?
I am, and I guess that's wrong.
Right. And then that's okay. But, we don't need permission, right? We don't need permission for you to be in Florida. We don't need permission to, cover the NHL or go where we want to go or do the things we want to do. We can do things we want to do because we want to do them, because we think it's right for the show, because we want to, be able to give this perspective to our audience, and that's okay, Good with it.
From Dan, the Jets fan, he says, is Bet Regal from the sweatpants capital? No, they're out of Toronto, are they not?
Yeah, East.
People are asking me, by the way, a lot to do with Grey Cup and if we're going to be there. You want to let that cat out of the bag, or do you want to wait until we get closer to Grey Cup and our plans with
We're working on it. But no, we're planning on being there. So it's going to be great.
Jeff in the Zone on YouTube says, is the Regina Pats game on Access 7 TV tonight? That's a hard no, bro. So you'll have to watch that on WHL Live. Moose, we'll see you tomorrow in 22 hours. You have a great night.
You as well.
Thanks to Darren Dreger and Brady Leavold. We'll see you at noon Eastern here Thursday on Game Plus TV.
Who has more fun than us?